Hi everybody, and welcome back to a new episode or a new video that. Uh, so yeah, trade deadline. Holy crap!
A lot of things.
Yeah. Um, but before we get into the content, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave your comments down below who you think won the trade deadline and who you think lost big time. So leave your comments down below. Anyways, let's get into this. So we're gonna go and start from the Nelson Cruz trade all the way up to the top of the Freddie Galvis trade to the Phillies, which was the last one of the deadline. So there's a lot to talk about. Oh, we're not gonna do those two trades. Those were like a long time ago. So Nelson Cruz to the Rays, along with right-handed pitcher Calvin Faucher, who will probably be a dominant pitcher for the Rays now because Rays know how to develop pitching. Um, Twins get Joe Ryan and Drew Strotman from Tampa Bay. This was a pretty good trade for the Rays. They needed some power in their lineup, and Nelson Cruz is the definition of that power. Twins obviously were in sell mode. Beginning of the year, they were kind of hoping to get into a playoff position. That hasn't happened, and then they sold. They're now rebuilding, which is the smart thing to do. And yeah, so I think the Rays win this trade. And now for the next couple trades, we're gonna be hearing a lot of Pittsburgh. Um, so the big one was Adam Frazier to the Padres for infielder. Oh God, names. Um, Tusapeta Marcano and Jack Sawinski and um Michael Milano. I hate those names already. Big time get for the Padres. I don't know much about the prospects, but the Padres, they get a leadoff guy that can play virtually anywhere from second to outfield. So they get that, and also the guy who's been hitting like 350 the whole year, it seems like.
Yeah, Padres made an upgrade there, and the Pirates get a few prospects that are promising. That's a good deal.
Yep. And then next one, Clay Holmes to the Yankees for Diego Castillo and Hoy Park. I've actually heard Yankees fans were mad they gave up Hoy Park. Um, Diego Castillo is not the Rays' Diego Castillo.
Who also actually got traded.
Yep. So there's that. I mean, good trade for both sides, I guess.
I guess Pirates win,
Yeah,
but
I think.
also great. And they got two prospects that maybe could be good. That's a win in my books.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mariners, who traded for Diego Castillo later on, they traded for Tyler Anderson next for Carter Binns and Juan Tejeda. So again, Mariners, they bolster up their starting rotation, And Pirates, they added more prospects. Um, Not a trade that is gonna get the media excited, but whatever. So I like this one for the A's. Andrew Chafin to the A's, Greg Dickman and Daniel Palencia to the Cubs. Andrew Chafin was actually really good in Chicago, and that will help Oakland out a lot in their bullpen. Um,
I like this trade too for Oakland. But I guess the Cubs also get a nice prospect and was that one guy, so I guess it works out for both. But I think Oakland will definitely benefit this year without a doubt getting Chafin.
yeah, I agree. Now, to the most controversial trade of all time, Kendall Graveman and Rafael Montero to the Astros for Abraham Toro and Joe Smith. So at the time of the trade, it was very weird because Seattle was like 1.5 games back of a wild card spot, and they traded away their lockdown closer to a division rival. And we were all like, huh? What? What did they do? And, I didn't get it. I really didn't get it at all. Yes, I mean, you're giving up, I guess, Rafael Montero, who's been absolutely terrible this year, with a nice 7.27 earned run average. But you're also giving up a lockdown closer who has a below 1 ERA.
And the Mariners are in a spot to potentially make the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years. I don't understand this trade at all, honestly.
I I still don't. I don't understand it at all, and I never will. I mean, like, because it's like, you're in a position to win. I don't give a shit you got Diego Castillo later on. You could have gotten Diego Castillo and still had Kendall Graveman, and you would have been in a good position. You would have you would have been in a massive position.
Yeah, now instead you pissed off all your players and a lot of your fan base.
Yeah, I don't blame the players.
I know the players said multiple things like this team isn't serious about winning and stuff like that. Or at least with the front office. If I'm a player, I actually agree with them on that. I mean, what the heck are you doing? We're winning. Why would you get rid of your lockdown closer?
And what's even more mind-boggling is that Joe Smith, the guy that they got in return, one of the guys, has a 6.94 earned run average. So it's not like you traded him for another good reliever. And then also that Abraham Toro guy, he basically wasn't good at all. I mean, he's been doing okay. In 4 games, he's hitting 429, 467, 929 splits with 2 home runs. I mean, okay, he looks halfway decent, but those numbers are going to go down once the season continues. But in Houston, he had a 2.11 average, 287 on base, and a 385 slugging for probably close to a 600 OPS. That's who you traded a lockdown closer for. A guy with a near 600 OPS and a reliever with a 7 ERA.
Yeah, man. Better hope that one of them guys turns out good or both, because I don't know what to think, honestly. I was very shocked by that one.
Yeah. I wasn't even a Mariner. I'm not even a Mariners fan. And I was kind of pissed about that because it's like, how the fuck can you do this trade when you're in the middle of a contending?
Yeah, they were like, what, a game or two from a wild card spot, and they
Well,
could have used
yeah,
added pieces and try to make a run for it.
they're 2.5 games out. So, I don't know. Especially with the Yankees getting Anthony Rizzo and Joey Gallo, which we'll get into later. This might bite him in the ass. But I guess moving on to a lot better of a trade, the Milwaukee Brewers acquired Eduardo Escobar for Cooper Hummel and Alberto Superion. Two guys I've never heard of before. For an all-star, I'll take it. That's a big-time W.
Yeah, I wanted Escobar badly, and we actually got him.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get Josh Donaldson, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know if we're going to actually do that because he still has multiple years of making 20 plus million, and the Twins would have to throw us like 60 million in cash to get a deal done. So,
I'll take Escobar.
yep. I think it's obviously a win for the Brewers. A win for the Reds here. They got Luis Cecilia and Justin Wilson for just a player to be named later from the Yankees, or to the Yankees. They get immediate bullpen help, which they desperately need. And the Yankees, I mean, I guess they didn't really care for these two guys, so, I mean.
Actually, I think they got rid of him to clear salary for Rizzo and Gallo. Wait, no, it might have been for Andrew Heaney, actually.
Oh, well, probably true.
I know that was a salary dump move by the Yankees. Stay under the luxury tax.
How is there a luxury tax with no salary cap?
Or there's a luxury tax line that you go up to in MLB.
Whatever. But another move the A's made that I like. Starling Marte for Jesus Luzardo. When this trade happened, I'm like, yes, Oakland, you're making good moves so far. Jesus Luzardo, I mean, he had a pretty good start to the year, but he ended up being absolutely terrible. And in his last outing for the Oakland in AAA, he gave up like 8 earned runs and like 5 homers or something that I read. And I'm like, yeah, maybe he'll get it turned around now in Miami. But he's going to have to put in some work.
Yeah, he's a highly regarded prospect. So we'll see if he figures it out now in Miami. I think the Marlins got a great deal for Starling Marte. Was on it. What might be a rental to Oakland to get Jesus Luzardo. I'd take that. Luzardo's got high potential to be a great starter still.
Yeah, I agree. Next one, speaking of Joey Gallo to the Yankees for Glenn Otto, Ezekiel Duran, Josh Smith, and Trevor Hover. So a pretty good haul for a guy who, I mean, has been pretty good this year. He's been heating it up in July, that's for sure. Yankees, they get an outfielder, they get a guy who can play infield as well, but another guy who strikes out a lot. So yeah, they already have Stanton who strikes out a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be worth it. He can hit bombs. Good trade for both sides. All right, Brad Hand to the Toronto Blue Jays for Riley Adams. Again, Washington was kind of that other team that, along with the Cubs, decided, okay, we're blowing it up. We're starting from scratch. We're blowing it up. Let's get some prospects and move on from the core, except for Juan Soto, which was a smart move to do. You do not move Juan Soto, who's not even in his prime, but is a superstar.
Yeah, they already got the perfect guy to build around, so.
So, I mean, good trade for both sides. Toronto needed some bullpen help. Washington gets a prospect. I don't know much about Adams, but maybe he'll turn into something. I don't know. Ooh, I forgot about this trade. Cesar Hernandez to the White Sox for Connor Pilkington. Yeah, I mean, White Sox, they get another bat. Cleveland, they get a prospect. Huh?
Well, they had a hole at second base with Nick Manager go out for the year, but obviously we all know what happens later with him.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Speaking of the White Sox, again, they traded for Ryan Tepera for left-handed pitcher Bailey Horn. Just another good trade for both sides. Cubs get a pitching prospect. White Sox get bullpen help. And let's just say this is not the last time these two teams will make a trade. We'll get to that later. The next trade will be a lot bigger one. But Danny Duffy traded to the Dodgers for a player to be named later. Wow.
Yep.
I hate the Dodgers.
Yeah. Don't need to expect much on that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of Diego Castillo from earlier, Seattle acquired him from Tampa Bay for JT Chargios and Austin Shenton. Yeah, so what was the point of trading Graveman? Because having two lockdown guys in the bullpen would be dangerous, but nope, I guess it's gotta be one or the other. If I was Mariners guys, I would have requested a trade immediately. I don't care. Like, that's bullshit. And very sketchy as hell. Ugh. But I guess whatever. I mean, I'm thankful I'm not a Mariners fan. I already suffered enough as a Brewer fan.
Yeah.
But now, the first domino effect for the Cubs. Anthony Rizzo to the Yankees for Kevin Alcantara and Alexander Vizcaino. I've heard good things about Vizcaino. Alcantara, I don't know much about, but I guess he should be good if he got traded for Rizzo. So I guess a good trade for both sides. I'm gonna hate this next trade I read off. It just wants me to it makes me want to give up at this point. I mean, like, why are the Nationals doing this to the baseball world? I don't care what prospects you got in return. Don't freaking do that trade with the Dodgers. The next trade is Max Scherzer and Trey Turner to the fucking Dodgers for Ruiz, Hosea Gray, Donovan Casey, and Gerardo Carriel, or however you pronounce that name.
Yeah, those are some top prospects, but yeah.
I don't give a shit. Why? You should have gotten more, to be honest. Like, you should have asked for at least one or two more guys just for the hell of it.
Scherzer's a rental. Supposedly, but being the Dodgers, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept them.
Yeah, they'll probably throw him like a 2-year, $70 million, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that. Unfortunately, Max Scherzer had all the. He had all control on this one. I knew from the start he was gonna be a Dodger. I could just tell. He had the Padres and Giants on there in case the Dodgers couldn't come to an agreement on the deal, but I knew he was going to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I know there was agreed on if I'm going to San Diego. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess maybe. Okay, I still feel like the Dodgers still had a chance. I think that was the whole point, was to get the Dodgers to get them.
Yeah, that's why when I saw that in the group chat, I'm like, wait, I thought I read something that the Padres were getting him. Fuck is this shit? Ugh. I really, really hope the Giants or Padres or whoever at this point, I don't care if it's the Brewers, I don't care if it's the Mets, take the fucking Dodgers out. I am so. This trade just makes me want to be like, I don't give a shit who's in the playoffs. I just only care if the Dodgers don't win it all, because this is fucking bullshit. But anyways, moving on. Daniel Hudson to the Padres for Mason Thompson and Jordy Barely. Cool. Kyle Schwarber to the Boston Red Sox for Adlo Ramirez. Cool. That's a good trade for Boston.
Yeah.
Then the big one, Jose Barrios to the Toronto Blue Jays for Austin Martin and Simeon Woods Richardson. Wow, this is a big time risk for the Toronto Blue Jays, and I'm saying this because they're not guaranteed to be in the playoffs. They are 3.5 games out of a wild card spot, and they are 8 games out of a division spot. I get it. You want to go all in. I totally understand that. But isn't Jose Barrios like a free agent after next year, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
So if you don't do anything this year, and then you're sucking next year, you're going to have to trade him again. And you gave up 2 top 100 prospects for him. It's a very risky deal because of what the Yankees have done, the A's have done. You can get better. You can get by the Mariners. They don't give a shit anymore. Very risky. But
I think on that one. I do that all day, every day.
if you were who? The Twins or
The Twins.
yeah, that was a very good trade. They fleeced him.
I'd be like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Next two trades involve Atlanta, Eddie Rosario to the Braves for Pablo Sandoval, and Adam Duvall to Atlanta for Austin or Alex Jackson. Cool. Brewers acquired Daniel Norris for right-handed pitcher prospect Reese Olson, who was in high A or something. I don't know, but a steal nonetheless. Craig Kimbrell. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Craig Kimbrell to the White Sox for Nick Madrigal and Cody Heuer, or Hauer, or whatever.
Cody House, or however you say his name.
What a pretty man. That might be a win, or that might be a both teams win type of trade. Because the White Sox get another lockdown reliever to put next to Liam Hendricks, and the Cubs get two high potential prospects that are actually MLB ready, but maybe not really. I don't know.
Madrigal looks like he's going to be a really good player already, so I think it's a good deal for both.
Yeah. When I heard about this trade, I'm like, damn. Wow. But yeah, Josh Harrison and Yan Gomes to the A's for three prospects. So yeah,
Been really good this year, so that was a good deal to get for Oakland to get him.
yeah, Oakland's been making some good moves. Yeah, I think they'll make the wild card team or the wild card round.
Maybe one in the division.
That too. But yeah, the Nationals, they're like, we're done. We're tearing it all down. Get everyone out of here. I think they got some good prospects, but I wish they would not have made that deal with the Dodgers. could have sent. You could have at least just sent Max Scherzer out of town. You didn't have to do fucking Turner, or you could have packaged maybe a pitcher or two. I don't know. But for the
Nationals, that just wanted the best return for them. They don't give a crap about who else affects it. All they care about is they got a couple top prospects, and that's all they care about. They make sure they're happy. It's good for everyone. Is what they look at it. You know, it sucks, but that's just part of the business.
yeah, but Javi Baez and Trevor Williams were traded to the Mets for Pete Crow Armstrong.
I heard he's supposed to be actually good. We'll see how he does with the Cubs.
Yeah, he was like Mets number 5 prospect or something. So we'll see what happens there. Kyle Gibson, Ian Kennedy, and Hans Gross to the Phillies for Spencer Howard. I mean, pretty decent trade for the Phillies. They get some pitching. Cool. Then the big one, Chris Bryant to the Giants for Caleb Killian and Alexandro Carrano or Canaro. I don't know. but we'll have to see how that all plays out. I feel like they could have maybe gotten another guy.
Yeah, the Cubs tore it down. That's all we really have to say.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll say they did the right thing. They clearly aren't winning anymore with their team. After 2018, they just didn't have the same team it seemed after that, and it was time to move on from that. I'm sure for them it's painful, which I can understand, since they have, that team brought them a World Series after 108 years, but
Yeah, you also have to think about it like this. They were all free agents. Baez, Rizzo, Bryant, and then also Kimbrel had an option. So they were all going to be free agents. So it was either trade them now or just let them walk for nothing. Then they made the right decision.
honestly, I think they did pretty good on their returns. I can actually somewhat relate to Cubs fans on that one. I remember back in 2015, 16 for us, the Brewer fans. Every dang player that we had. Brian Gomez and that. All the fan favorites.
Yeah. That was painful. But yeah, next trade, Hansler Robles to the Boston Red Sox for Alex Sheriff to the Twins. Cool. And then John Lester to the Cardinals for Lane Thomas, which I think could be a pretty decent trade for the Nationals.
Yeah.
He's a young outfielder.
They got a young outfielder that has potential.
And then this one made no sense. J.A. Happ to the Cardinals for John Grant, Evan Sisk. J.A. Happ has been terrible this year. I don't even think a new situation is going to help him out. He's just been bad. He's just been bad. Let's just stick with that.
Yeah. I know Astros traded for Yimi Garcia, though, in their bullpen. Our bullpen on that was on the Marlins. I just remembered that. I saw the Astros.
Yeah, trade's not on here for some reason. But Jorge Soler to the Braves is for Casey Kellich. Okay, cool. Richard Rodriguez as well for Bryce Wilson and Ricky DeVito. Okay, good trade for the Pirates. Both sides as well, kind of. Joakim Soria to the Blue Jays for two players we named later. Michael Chavez to the Pirates for Austin Davis. And then Freddie Galvis to the Phillies for Tyler Birch. You may recognize a name that hasn't been traded. John Curtis to the Brewers for who again?
Don't forget Richard Rodriguez to the Braves.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I know Andrew Heaney went to the Yankees from the Angels. So yeah, there are a ton of trades. Rich Hill went to the Mets.
Yeah, a lot of trades, a lot of win-win, a lot of that pissed people off, pissed players off.
The Reds got Michael Gibbons from the Rockies as well, I remember.
Oh yeah. For some reason, not all the trades are on here, so there's probably more we missed.
The ones, I think the ones that we didn't get are most minor, not as big, but there, needless to be, there are a ton of trades. And this was probably one of the most fun deadlines I've had in a while.
I agree with that.
Trades was just like mind-boggling, like refreshing every few minutes, wondering who's going where and stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of actually still thankful we don't have that no longer, like waiver trade deadline or whatever.
Yeah, they used to do that in August, and I'm kind of glad they got rid of that. I always feel like the trade deadline of July, at the end of July, should be it. After that, you're stuck on your own.
Yeah. But that's probably gonna be it for us. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, comment down below who you think or what trade you think is gonna or was the best. And
Or the worst.